Hello again from my front porch. It is Thursday, December 4th, and I want to start off by saying the edits on my book are, for the most part, done. Yay! I say for the most part because there are a couple of spots where they requested that I include some specific examples or where I had the framework of a model of a form, a template, and they said, could we have an actual completed one also, so people could see what it looks like filled in. And so I have to get that at work, so I'm gonna go in. It's funny, this will be my first day working for the year because obviously I had the first off, and then I took the last couple of days off to stay home and finish up the edits on the book. And so got those finally all wrapped up, yay. And so we'll be going in and tracking down the examples, putting those in, and then sending those off. And I will definitely be recording when I hit the send button again to send in the last bunch of the edit stuff. And so in fact, for the official YouTube video that gets the official video gets posted to YouTube, I will be inserting that joyous, wonderful video moment right here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the moment where my round of edits are finally done. Yay, they're finally done. Anyway, with the press of this button, the last of the edits of the chapters will be finished, and, well, then I guess we'll see what happens from there. So count it down with me. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! The edits are done and on their way.
Oh, and it is going to feel so good to have this monkey off my back, at least that much. Now, I'm still not naive. I suspect there still will be stuff that they'll send me and they'll say, we'd like to tweak this. We'd like this to be a little bit different. But now increasingly that'll get to be more and more isolated, more and more targeted and focused, and I suspect they may just start taking some liberties to say, you know what, see what he's saying here, but he's a little bit long-winded, so we're gonna scale it down to this. So I envision a lot of that happening. So we'll see. I'll see what it looks like. But point is, past another major hurdle. Oh, actually doing the edits has been harder than writing the original portions. Because the original writing, I was able to just, sit at the computer and just type away and just kind of brain dump the stuff. But now the edits, it's all more focused, and in many cases it's meatier and deeper, and it's requiring my brain to think a little harder than I would like to. And in some cases challenging me to think through some things that I hadn't actually thought through, where the editor would say, so now you say this, but tell me more about such and such aspect of this. And be like, I already told you everything that I was thinking on it, but okay, you want more? Okay, well, hold on. Let me think. What more could there be? So there has been a little bit of that, but still, it's been it's been a very painful and not pleasant experience, but as it's done, and as there is actually then this book that has my name on it that says it's about structure on the job training, I'm obviously going to feel proud of having finished this accomplishment and done this work. It's also, though, already, even without being done, the book is opening up other opportunities, and the content of other opportunities for me to get to talk about structure on the job training with a variety of different audiences. In fact, already, now just a few days into the year, I have confirmations of different conferences and different presentations where I'll be doing it. And so I'll give you just a quick little rundown of where things stand currently at this point. Coming up on February 2nd, I have the Central Iowa chapter of the Association for Talent Development has what they call their Professional Development Day, and I will be presenting on All the World is a Classroom, which is the title of my book for ATD, and presenting on those structure on the job training concepts. I will also be facilitating a roundtable discussion time on structure on the job training topic as well. And then just as an aside, at that same event, my colleague Sherry Estes is being recognized with an award for the internship program that she has developed, that she modeled loosely on the SOJT program I'd created. Mine, of course, is much more involved and takes years to complete. Her internship program is for summer interns, so it's like, you know, in a couple of months time frame. But she took the basic framework and the focus of what I'd done, for our project managers, and she scaled that into a smaller package that would work for the interns. And even more than that, we were able to create it in such a way so that it links in seamlessly to our SOJT program. So someone comes and works with Waldinger as doing an internship as a project engineer, and then decides they want to come work for Waldinger. Things they will have done in their internship already set them up to be started in the SOJT program. So you know, it's great the way those work together, and I am so excited that Sherry's going to get that recognition. So I've got that coming up February 2nd. February 12th, there's an organization called ASAE, the Center for Association Leadership, and they apparently do an annual online conference, where the whole conference is online, where everybody who joins in is joining in virtually. That there's no physical conference, and they actually tracked me down because of someone who had attended my session at the ATD International Conference this last year and saw me present on structure on the job training. This organization tracked me down and asked if I would be interested and willing to present a session on that topic for their online conference. So I said yes, and I've got that coming up on February 12th. And then we can jump ahead a little bit. I get a little bit of a breather at this point, at least. That April 19, here in Iowa, the Association of Iowa Workforce Partners, which is an entity that I'm well aware of because of my involvement with the Central Iowa Workforce Development Board. But the Association for Iowa Workforce Partners has an annual conference that they do that bring together government officials and business leaders and business individuals to all address workforce issues, whether it's expanding the workforce, better preparing the workforce, better supporting the workforce. You know, all different things related to how to improve Iowa's workforce population. I've been selected to be able to do my structure on the job training presentation for them April 19th. But for their purposes, I loop Sherry into that as well, so that the two of us will co-present this, and we will actually present how our cohesive model of internship into structure on the job training, how that whole seamless model functions. And so we'll be doing that coming up April 19th. And then, of course, you know about in May already that I've been allowed to do 2 sessions at the International Conference and Expo out in San Diego this year, which sounds really wonderful and warm compared to the frozen tundra that is Iowa right now. But that'll be out in San Diego, and I'll get to do 2 sessions. And I just got word here the other day, maybe just yesterday, the time blurs, that there are always about 300 or so sessions presented at the International Conference. And as I said, I'm fortunate to get to 2 of them. But the last couple of years, they have recorded one of my sessions. Now, recording means they capture the audio and they capture what is on the screen, the PowerPoint or visuals that you're using, and then they capture that. And I think maybe about a third of the sessions done at the conference get recorded. Now, I've been fortunate that both of the last 2 years that I've been able to present there, at least one of my sessions that I've done has been recorded. Now, they also video record a very small number of sessions, only 14 of the sessions get selected for that. It's definitely a very exclusive little honor that the ATD obviously uses for the sessions that they feel are the ones that are going to be most popular to watch and see. And I received notice that my session that links to my book, that links to the All the World is a Classroom session that talks about structure on the job training, it's been selected to be one of those 14 video recorded sessions this year. So better make sure that session is smooth. So anyway, big happenings. It's like, okay, man, this is where everything's exploding. I go from struggling through and fumbling through getting the book written and getting the edits done and all the stress involved with that, to all of a sudden there being this big boom, this explosion of these opportunities to then talk about those concepts, which I'm excited about. I'm looking forward to that. Also, I don't know if we'll get it, so I'm a little reluctant to mention it, but I suppose it doesn't hurt to at least say we applied. But Sherry and I also submitted, the local ATD chapter did an RFP for what they call workshops or half-day or full-day sessions that can be offered as programming events throughout the year. And Sherry and I did submit to do a half-day session on structure on the job training that again would focus on our internship program and how it feeds into the structure on the job training program, how attendees can build those kind of things up themselves, how they can address the pitfalls, how they can identify the needs, how they can do all of that kind of stuff. The half-day workshop would be interesting because it would allow us time to actually do more than just talk to people and say, here's everything we did, now go home and try to figure it out yourself. It would allow us to actually have some dialogue and have some discussions and be able to explore some concepts and be able to have them maybe work through some activities. And so I think that'd be very exciting. Now, we haven't received word that we've been accepted yet. So I don't know if that'll happen, but we did ask for it to happen, if it happens, to have it happen later in the year, so that it could be after the international conference coming up in May, and hopefully after my book itself is published, so that we can maybe have copies of the book there available for people. So we'll see how all of that pans out. In the meantime, I got plenty to do to keep me busy, because in addition to all these conferences and things, I also have this day job that they expect me to actually produce things for them too. Speaking of which, I need to get going so I'm not late for my first day of the new year back at work. I will see you next time from my front porch.